Thanks everyone for joining us today, and we'll talk about building diverse teams and a collaborative culture for advancing AI. We have Dorit Zilbershot as well as Valerie Bakar. Dorit is the head of AI product management group at ServiceNow, and Valerie is the senior director of research at ServiceNow Research. So in today's fireside chat, we'll focus about what it takes to build and support data science, engineering, and product teams. Specific focus at ServiceNow as to what's happening within the Women in AI group at ServiceNow. Also, how does recruiting happen? What do we do in mentorship, visibility, and allyship? Dorit and Valerie will also share experiences about challenges they have faced in their personal life journeys. And how do we bridge scientific research with product innovation? So for example, Valerie is from research, Dorit is from product innovation. So how do we combine both fields? Because once you are in research and then the product development happens, there is a valley of death. How do we cross that seamlessly and collaboratively? And also how they work to create strategic alignment through engagement, empathy, and acceptance. They will also touch upon some of the hottest topics in AI today, like large language models, ethics, trust, and governance. So I also want to introduce Dorit as leading engineering teams for intelligence experiences at ServiceNow. And Valerie has built up a team of 5 researchers ground up to build a scientific innovation mission at ServiceNow. Welcome. So, Dorit, can you describe your team? How do you promote gender diversity within your team as well as outside your team?
Sure. So first, really thank you for having me. And it's exciting to see so many women in a tech conference, which you don't always see. So really happy about the opportunity to have Women in AI track. So I lead the product management team. We focus really on solving ServiceNow problems with AI. And as part of that, we have 3 different areas. One is human-machine interactions. How do we drive engaging conversations, whether it's in a chatbot, through an email, or even as an admin experience? We have search and recommendations. How do you find data, whether it's proactively going and searching or reactively when you're getting the information? And lastly, it's hyper-automation. How do we help the ServiceNow users to really automate a lot of their mundane tasks and augment their task with AI? As part of the question, so I'm passionate about women in tech in general and women in AI specifically, and feel like that's my life mission. My team has 40% women, which is very high from the standard of it's about 25% in tech industries. And it was not done by accident. It's not that these women applied and they were all great and we hired all of them. It was really by making a conscious decision that we as a group want to increase the number of women in our team. And so there are a few things that we've done to be able to get to this number. The first one is that I've noticed we promote a job posting, and I get 0 resumes for women. And I would go to the recruiters, and I'm like, what's going on? And they will look at me like, it is what it is. And so I started to do some research and then learned that women do not apply. They wait to get called. And so if you have LinkedIn recruiters, great tool. I basically started to ping candidates and find those strong women and make sure that I put more women in the pipeline so that when we see candidates, we don't see just a bunch of men. So that was number one. The second is always have a woman in a panel. So being able to relate. So we see a lot of candidates coming in, and then at the end, the women decide not to join us for some reason. And so we've noticed that when we have a woman on the panel, we have higher likelihood of them accepting our offer. Even recently, like I interview everyone on my team, and we had a woman candidate really good, and we knew that she had 2 other offers. And she decided to go with ServiceNow, not because we paid her higher, we were very competitive, but she said, because I saw you on the panel. All the other 2 companies, I only saw men, and I could not relate to working with those teams. And so having a woman really helped get in, the women accept. And then the third thing is research showed that we as women, when we see a job posting, we expect to fill 100% of the qualification, and men only 60%. And so I feel like, us as female leaders really nudge women in our network to apply. And so I spend a lot of time with women in ServiceNow, nudging them to apply to a management role, even though they have no experience in management. Because there's always that first time, right? Someone has to give you that first opportunity. And so that's for recruiting. But how do we build that network of women so that you have that, someone that will nudge you and will kind of push you? So one of the things that Val and I started a group of the ServiceNow Women of AI. So we have almost 100 women as part of our group. It's really about creating that networking. We as women, we don't network as much. Men are much better at networking than us. So having a group of women kind of there for each other, empowering each other, learning from each other, really about kind of creating those networks and those collaborations. That's really key. So I would encourage all of you to find that group of women in your work that will help you push you forward.
Thanks, Dorit. So Valerie, there's one thing about research. So it could be fundamental research or applied research. So wanted to touch upon on that. So if someone is interested, how do they get into that field? Also, please describe your team and what advice do you have for fellow women here to start a career in research in AI.
Okay, so again, thanks for having us here. It's very, very nice to see so many great faces. I'm from a completely different world. So I live in research. You know that it's going very, very, very fast. We just saw ChatGPT that is doing amazing things. It's going very fast. If you want to know what's happening, you need to be part of that community. And it's a special community, an open community. So you need to contribute also. You need to publish. You need to show that you are part of that great adventure that is understanding intelligence through creating artificial intelligence. And this is what my team is doing. So if we want to be able to see the signal in all that noise, we need to be out there. So the majority of my team is doing fundamental research, mostly in large language models, foundation models, and they are contributing to the community, they are publishing. But it's another world, and we need to bring it closer to developing products around that. So I also have a small team of special people that are doing applied research and that are bridging, that understand both worlds, the academic world, but also the business world. And they are ninjas that are transforming theory or transforming concepts into use cases, into proof of concept. So this is what my team is doing. To get into that field, in the research part, don't fool yourself. You need to be an expert. You need to go to school. You need to get a degree. You need to like, at least, math. You need to be able to eat your breakfast while thinking about math and not wanting to throw up. This is very important. And just jump into it. So there are many ways of becoming an expert. There are many domains in AI, in research. You have to be curious also. What was the other question? Sorry.
So what would you advise for women entering research?
I just said it. So take the risk. You heard, I'm a chemical engineer. I came into AI because I had an opportunity. I knew nothing about it. At the time, nothing was really existing, so I took a chance. I liked it. I found my way, and it's really just, I didn't have the 100% qualities. I just, at the beginning, I'll fake it until I make it, and it was very fun to do that.
No, thanks for that. But also to set expectation here, right? For research, the barrier to entry could be slightly mid to high, but it also requires exceptional skills. But don't be discouraged to apply. But on the other hand, you can always do a transition into an alternate career with diverse backgrounds, need not be in technology, into product innovation or operations. And Dorit, like we just spoke about the value of debt. So how do you and Valerie work together on a daily basis coming from two different worlds?
So I talked about having a network of women. So Val and I actually started, we were on the same kind of leadership training together. And we said, we should talk more because we're doing very similar things. And so by being women, we kind of connected. And then we identified very early on that product and research have to work together. For both groups to succeed, we have to work together. And so, for us, for product, we really want to influence the AI research initiatives because that's what's going to keep us at the forefront of AI. And the research team really wants to make sure that they influence our product roadmap so that the things that they're working on actually get it into the customer's hand. And so we work very closely on we were just talking about that before, building that healthy tension between product and research, kind of making sure that research runs forward and, product, we're a little bit, kind of pulling them back, bringing them back to reality, and making sure that we both work together to benefit the ServiceNow customers.
Thanks for that, Dorit. So Valerie, I know product and research can work together very well. In this case, both of you work together very well, but there should definitely be some challenges on a daily basis.
No, it's not.
What are those challenges? And how do you overcome?
So it's clearly not easy because we're talking about tension and we want them. We don't have the same timelines. So the pressure for research comes from conference deadlines. So that's our rhythm. We need to think about the release cycles, the production cycle. We need to be able to fit both. Not an easy thing. We are also optimizing for completely different outputs, meaning that we need to build in our team different cultures if we want to optimize those outputs. And those cultures, they need to live with each other, to respect each other, to understand. So it's a lot of energy, a lot of time, a lot of curiosity for the other. So you really need to, on both sides, identify leaders in this. So people that are willing to make the additional effort to show the way to the others, because we cannot just force them to do. The researcher, you don't force them to do anything anyway. And so they can show the way, and then they can bring the others with them, and this is how you start the ball. But you constantly need to live with that tension. Yeah.
So in terms of both of you working together, I know there are these challenges that you address all the time, but how does this work when you face your customer? There is an end customer that's asking something, while the research is in a different direction, but the product has to meet the customer. So how does the customer perspective work from AI research and product working together?
Yeah, so we will provide some teasers to customers. So what we do is we work closely with our research team, and then we will do some teasers to customers. So first to evaluate, is it really something that our customers are interested in? What are some of the concerns that they may have? But we try to we always get okay, when can I get it? And we're like, in 2 years. But that really helps us. Having those discussions with customers get them excited about AI and gets them excited about what we do, as well as giving them the opportunity to understand the art of the possible. Because, and I'm sure some of you here as well, when I talk to a customer, they tell me, so tell me about your AI. AI for what? Like what problem you're trying to solve? No, just AI. I want to know about AI. And so we, a lot of the time, have to educate our customers about what is AI, what can they do with AI, what problems they should be able to to solve with AI and what they shouldn't. And so having the research and being able to put those kind of tidbits and work with customers to kind of get them interested and excited really helps us, because then it means that they have budget for that. Then we can, put them as partners during the development. We can get their data and kind of build that kind of partnership. So we have the collaboration with research as well as partnership with the customer.
All right, thanks, Dorit, thanks, Valerie. Maybe ServiceNow is known for product innovation, operations, and research. So what happens within the AI field? Let's say what's coming up for women in AI within ServiceNow, let's say in the next 5 years, 10 years, what's going on?
Let's start also with what's already here and what will come later. When we think about the place of women there, you all have to be to realize that we are now building the future. Like, there are great technologies that are out there that will probably revolutionize the way we work. It's clear that we want women to be part of it. We are an important part of the workforce. We need to be there to invent it, to develop it, and to give our feedback on it, to build it. So we need to be involved. We need to be there. Women, yes, but all the minorities of the world also should be part of that conversation. But you know how it is. We need to do our own work. We need to be there. We need to proactively be part of the conversation.
Thanks, Valerie. And in closing, Dorit, just wanted to quickly ask, so if someone wants to transition to a different career path, so let's say they enter in research, they want to go into product or operations, how does this transition work within ServiceNow, or how would you recommend some tips for our audience today?
Yeah, so we have a very senior product manager on our team that started as a QA engineer, then moved to be a solution consultant in sales, then became a product manager. So I always say, if you want to be a product manager, there's no single path to get to that. And the same with ServiceNow. So we talk about diversity, gender diversity, but there's also like thought diversity. Having different backgrounds of people, having a team that is not thinking the same way, bringing their experience and their expertise to the table really makes it better for all of us that we have that discussion, and I think that's what pushes us forward. So in ServiceNow, we actually very much in favor of moving people from one team to the other. They may not move to the research team because you do have to be an expert, but you could be. We have examples of a data scientist who moved to become a product manager. We have examples of a product manager who decided to go back to engineering. And I think it's always bring that added value of being able to do something else, and there's more empathy as part of that.
Thank you. So I think everyone would have gotten a good idea of how to switch between both sides of the world and the support available for women, not only women, but everyone else as well, right? Thanks, Valerie, and thanks, Dorit, for today's discussion. I think we have a lunch roundtable with ServiceNow. I'll invite Kay.